8:14 your time this morning. The College of Marin men's and women's basketball teams are playing this weekend in honor of an iconic alumni. Joining us now to talk all about it and the second annual Don Barksdale Invitational is Mariners men's head basketball coach LyRyan Russell. Coach, appreciate you being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about Don Barksdale for a quick moment here. I'm a sports guy. I love sports. I love basketball, but I've never heard this name before. Kind of researching some of this information, and I think that's true for a lot of people here. And I think there's a reason why this invitational is happening. Tell us a little bit about what Don Barksdale's story is and why you think it's so important to tell.
Well, you know, San Francisco Bay Area has a rich culture in sports, and with Don Barksdale, he was definitely a trendsetter and a trailblazer, where first All-American college basketball, first to be on the USA men's Olympic team, one of the first black males to be in the NBA. So to have that kind of history and his story being told is very important, not only for African-American history, but for all the sports history.
Also first, I think, black All-American to play at UCLA as well.
Yes.
You mentioned the gold medal. I mean, he's got a whole resume. Also first black DJ and first black TV host in the Bay Area.
Yes.
I mean, this is a story that's almost surprisingly you don't hear so often in Bay Area history. But this is what this invitational, this basketball tournament is all about here. When players enter the court, whether they're with your program or some of the others who are walking in, what are they noticing and what are they being told when they participate?
Just the continued history, and Don Barksdale was an amazing human being. Before he passed away, he was instrumental in raising money to save Oakland public school sports. And that's something that doesn't get highlighted. So we might not hear about the Gary Paytons or the Greg Fosters that went to the NBA, or Antonio Davis that played in Oakland public schools and made it to the NBA. So they might not be there if it wasn't for Don Barksdale's efforts to raise money and save Oakland public schools in the mid to late 80s.
And of course, he didn't proceed without his own challenges as well. I believe he couldn't even play on his high school, Berkeley High School team.
Correct.
Because he was a black man.
Correct.
You know, you hear these stories, and as a basketball coach yourself, as a basketball player in your day as well, when you hear these kinds of stories and this history, I mean, what goes through your mind?
You know, as a coach, you want to embrace everyone, you know, and it's unfortunate during those times there were things in place for black people not to be able to showcase talents or have the same opportunities or access to, whether it was information or opportunities. So as a coach, I love that I am able to be in a position to give all people opportunities and build community, which is something that Don Barksdale was very good at, building community. And I think that came from some of the challenges he had to face. So he makes sure he welcomed everyone. Don't matter if you were black, white, Asian, Latino. That's just him, you know, and hopefully I'm embodying some of the things that he represented and what he lived for as well.
Yeah, how are you incorporating his story into your coaching style and in your team? Do all your players know who he is and what his story is?
We do. So I'm also part of a group on College of Marin's campus called the Emoja Institute, and we are an organization that helps support African-American students and all students. We show, like during this week, we had Don Barksdale, we showed his documentary Bounce for the entire faculty, and the student athletes get a chance to watch his documentary, have a discussion afterwards. So we try to celebrate and make sure that everybody knows his history.
Well, obviously, we have this invitational, too. It's the second edition of it.
Yes.
Let's talk about the actual basketball aspect of it. You had a game yesterday. You've got a game today. It's a two-day tournament. What is the format of this, and what are you hoping these teams, these players, take away at the end of the whole thing?
Yeah, so we have 2 women's games and 2 men's games. 2 women's games each day, one men's game each day. And we just try to build community and have something where teams can come in, learn about the history of Don Barksdale. We make sure that we feed all the players. We try to have these opportunities where we do have some media behind it, and just make it a great weekend where we could just build community.
Sure. I know, a tough loss yesterday.
Yes.
Hopefully a better result today.
What
What
bounce
time
back for sure.
What time do y'all tip off?
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Coach LyRyan Russell, we really appreciate you being here this morning, sharing this story with us. Tournament will wrap up later today. More information on not just the Invitational, but about Don Barksdale on our website right now on KTVU.com.